Hello, 546 funders, and thank you for giving me this opportunity, JJ Meservey, to make my recommendation on a purchase for stock for the 546 fund. I'm suggesting that we purchase 1,500 shares of General Electric stock. Let me tell you a little bit why. Over the years, even when Jack Welch was CEO, General Electric started to get into businesses that were non-industrial. They bought NBC Universal, as well as got heavily involved in GE Capital, which has an industrial lending arm as well as a consumer lending arm. Most recently, they've come to understand that they need to focus on what they do best, which is make things, and make the things that they are industry leaders in. As a result, they have decided to sell NBC, which they've already done, as well as their small appliance division. In addition to that, they're going to divest themselves, or are already working on it, of the GE Capital. They'll continue to make loans to industrial customers, but no longer to individuals like you and I, because the costs are just too high. With this revenue that they're going to recognize, they're going to repurchase shares, as well as pay down debt. They've already made some very dramatic changes over the past 5 years in the reduction of not only their short-term, but their long-term debts. They've decided to focus on their core competencies. Those core competencies are aviation, energy management, healthcare, oil and gas, power and water, and transportation. In each one of these areas of their business, they are industry leaders. So basically what they've decided to do is shed themselves of the businesses that weren't as successful and focus all of their energy on those businesses that bring in the most revenue and the highest profit margins. Now, their financials don't look terribly good now because as part of divesting themselves of GE Capital, they had to take some losses. But over the long term, they'll be positioned quite well to take advantage of R&D and other things associated with their core competencies. They also pay a very good and timely dividend that has grown by an average of over 17% year over year the last 5 years. The stock is currently priced at around $26. My valuations have the stock priced anywhere from $31 to $35. But we all know how these intrinsic valuations work. What we really need to be looking at is, what can GE do with these businesses that they know they're number one in if they're not focusing all their efforts on businesses where they were not number one? If history repeats itself, and they get back into what they do best, I'm quite confident that GE will be a great investment for the 546 fund. I feel even more confident about that because the management team, headed by CEO Jeff Immelt, even agrees. He was one of the ones that got them very heavily invested in GE Capital. He says over and over in the annual statement that time after time, it was a mistake. They even got involved in the subprime lending market, and we all know how that went. So please join me and support my recommendation to purchase 1,500 shares of General Electric stock. I want to thank you all so very much for this opportunity, and please tell you to take the time to go and look at my full written report as well as my Excel spreadsheets. Thank you.